Alrighty, welcome back to From the Ground Up. We're your hosts. I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Tyler.
And today for our season finale, we have with us AshLeigh Cook of Ignite Yoga Studio.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. This is my first podcast. I'm pretty excited.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. That's exciting.
Before we get into anything, we'd like to take a minute to shout out today's sponsor, Think3D Solutions. Think3D Solutions helps other businesses build a lasting and people-centered culture. They work with clients to develop training, consulting, and coaching solutions tailored to the specific needs of their organizations and teams. Each client, team, and individual that they work with is unique with its own set of strengths and opportunities. That is why Think3D Solutions tailors to each solution for that client's specific needs. You can learn more about Think3D Solutions. You can learn about what Think3D Solutions can do for you at letsthink3d.com. That's Think3D as the numeral 3 and the letter D.com.
So to get the thoughts flowing, we have an icebreaker and a little get-to-know-you question.
All right. Shoot it.
So what was the first team you were a part of? And this can include like sports or a school project.
Yeah, so the first team, I would say probably 5th grade, I started softball.
Okay.
And really loved it. So that got me into the whole team spirit of sports. Yeah.
That's actually the same for me, so that's
awesome.
funny.
Yeah. What position did you play?
I was a pitcher.
I was a catcher.
Oh my goodness.
Love it. Good duo
awesome.
right here.
Yeah. What would you say that you learned about teamwork through that experience?
I learned that you quickly realize the people that show up to put in the work and how the team grows.
Yeah.
And then I learned a lot from just even back then leading by example.
Yeah.
So if I wanted them to put in extra practice time so we could get better, then I had to show up and do it too. So
yeah. That's awesome.
Sweet. To kick off the official questions, can you tell us the story of Ignite Yoga Studio and how you built it from the ground up?
Oh, well, from the ground up, I didn't even go to yoga about 6.5 years ago, and a girlfriend dragged me there, and I did this hot yoga thing that I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I really loved it, and that developed into becoming an instructor, and then I actually quit my full-time job. I worked at Starbucks for about 10.5 years. I managed one, and I quit that to teach full-time, and I just really loved it, and then kind of grew and ended at one studio, and then a couple other studios picked me up, and then that was kind of just right when like COVID was getting, like things were starting to happen, and I decided, like everything was shutting down, so I did an online. So a couple of really good friends were just like, we know you're working out at home, like record them for us, and I'm like, you guys are so crazy. But so I started an online Facebook group. It was private because I'm like, okay, me and the 7 crazy people can get up at 7 a.m. and I'll do a live for them. And it blew up into like 600 plus some people in this group. And, not everyone would log on live, but I got up every morning at 7 a.m. during COVID, whether I was traveling or not. And we did an online Facebook group. And that's honestly starting probably underground, how Ignite really started from an online Facebook group and a bunch of people just kind of getting to know it in their own comfort of their home with this little screen, and I'm yelling at them, and my sons would come in the room, and they were pretty much the highlight. My 4-year-old was crazy. He had Nerf guns, and there was an episode with parlor beads, and they were all over. But that's really how it actually started from the ground, and then I decided to make it an actual physical place. And literally July of 2020, right when COVID was kind of like over the biggest hump, but it was still very present in the society and everything, but I opened and just kind of went, God definitely made it clear that was my path. I kind of fought it for a very long time, and through friends and God just showing me like, nope, this is being presented to you, and you just need to keep following these steps. And I trusted him, and it was just, it's been a lot of fun, a lot of learning, but a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So would you say that was kind of your first exposure to the entrepreneurship side of it after learning you loved it?
Yeah. I mean, as an instructor, you kind of have to take your own like leadership in your classes and kind of how you do things like that. So you kind of like have your own style and how you do things. But I was blessed also, like my dad's owned his own business. I'm from a family of 6 kids, and 5 of them have their own businesses and have run them. So I just been kind of like around a lot of people that have done their own businesses, and I know I'm not like a 9 to 5, even working Starbucks. I'm like, I can't sit. I have to like work and do all the things.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like my first experience with entrepreneurship for sure, but like I had been around it. But it definitely for me, like I don't know how many hours I spent on YouTube, like figuring out things and like how to start businesses. And I was very blessed that God gave me people in my life too, mentors that I could call on and ask the hard questions and like be just really vulnerable and feel very honestly just intelligent about things. And they could just help and guide me. So
Yeah.
it was very nice. Yeah.
What sort of things did you take time to plan out, and what could be like developed over time?
So I knew for sure like class structures were going to be a big thing. So I definitely planned out like what we were going to be good at and what we really wanted to hone in on and get really good at, instead of doing like being kind of good at a lot of little things, just like really sticking with like the main one or two things and kind of branching out from there. So I'd say that's how I want to grow it. Like we're really into sculpt. Like I really love hot sculpt. It's you know, it's kind of like my passion, my jam. So if I can't love it, how is everybody else going to love it? So that's what we really deliver the best, I would say, actually. And then we're building on that. So now we have strong classes, we have circuit classes, interval classes, and we do also do like the vinyasa flows and the restore. But that's how I want to develop, is becoming broader with more classes. But definitely I wanted to just hammer down like the sculpt and be really good at that.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
What are some things that you do with Ignite that are new or unique compared to other businesses or fitness studios?
I think I would like to say that we offer just a really good community, and I know a lot of fitness studios offer a really good community, and I would say that no one is better or whatever. We're just all different. And I just love to say, like, people are like, oh, how are you different than this or not? I'm like, we're not very different. We offer the same things. It's just with a different vibe, I like to say. You know, and there's so many different demographics in Sioux Falls and different workout people. Like, you have, like, the hardcore. And then you have, like, the I want to work out but not really sweat. And you have the, like, oh, I just do it, like, 3 or 4 times a week just, you know, like, maintain. And so I would just like to say, like, we offer just a really loving and community that, like, just everyone. We just want everyone, no matter your age, no matter your fitness level, no matter how many times you work out or not. Like, when you walk in those doors, I want you to feel like you belong here too.
Yeah.
And so we've really just engulfed that and embraced it. Yeah.
What marketing techniques would you say are kind of different than others that you use?
Well, I have a really good marketing manager. She's also my best friend. But she's really good at, she does all the social media. And she just makes everything look so pretty and eloquent and seamless. And she knows all those things to do. And she just, you know, she asked me the questions like, what do you want to focus on, whether it's like community or loving yourself, and then she just kind of goes with it. And so for marketing, I would say, like, we do really hit like what I feel like the members are needing or wanting. So it's not like the same thing, or it's not just like random quotes we use. It always does have a theme, whether you know it or realize it or not. There really is always an underlining theme to things. And we really haven't dabbled as much into marketing as she really wants to, because the first year kind of blew up a lot faster than I thought it was going to. So I felt like we were almost playing catch up more than we were like ahead of everything. And so she has so many more plans to do for marketing that we just haven't even done yet. But we did shoot a couple of videos just a couple weekends ago for some commercials and for info and just for like instructors. So yeah.
Awesome. That's
Sweet.
cool. Is there anything that you want to improve on that is newer or more unique?
Kind of like I said before, like, I'd really like to dabble in some different types of classes that, you know, aren't offered around Sioux Falls, whether that's with different equipment or different styles and things like that. So definitely dabbling into some of those things. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
What can you tell us about what you've learned about becoming the employer and the hirer for a team?
It's hard. It's tough. And for me, definitely it struggles a lot on the heartstrings, just because I love people, and if I hire you, that means, like, you're my family. And not only do I want to hire you and make you part of my family, but I want you to feel like then you're part of the family. So, I mean, I get a lot of people that are like, oh, are you hiring? I'd love to be on a sub list. I'm like, right, but, like, have you been here? Do you know what it's like? Like, you know, and, like, I want you to love it just as much as I love it, you know, if you're going to hire. And then we've had the hard things of, it just wasn't working out. And, so it's really hard to fire a friend sometimes. But keeping that business and personal separate is a really good boundary. I would say, like, the biggest boundary you should keep as an owner, an entrepreneur. It's not always personal.
Yeah.
But definitely if you lead with your heart, you don't have to do that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how have you encountered many interviews who weren't a good fit, and like how were you able to let them know that they weren't the best fit?
Honestly, I would just say, you're not quite exactly the style that we have going on here. And it's not saying that they're not good. And it's not saying that they couldn't make it, in another studio or start their own. It's just that for Ignite and what we offer and the style that we have going on, that's just usually how I tell them.
Yeah. What would you say, like, is the style that you're looking for in an interviewee?
They need to be certified in Sculpt, and so they do an audition class is what they do. And then it's how you interact with the members. I'm very big on, as a trainer, as an instructor, you're there solely to serve the members during the class. Like, you're not there for your workout. You go to a different class to work out. And you're not there to work your legs because you want stronger legs. You're there to do a workout for the whole members. And so you're a servant when you walk into that room. And so that's definitely something I look at. Like, even like going on their social media and like how are they presenting themselves to everyone else is kind of, and then like once they're in the room and how they talk to other members just before and after class, like, are you there because you love doing this and you really want to improve the lives of other people? Because that's the mentality of all our instructors. Or are you here to kind of be like, look at me, I can do all this stuff? Yeah. So that's usually how I can definitely tell if they're going to be a good fit or not for Ignite, at least.
Sweet.
What entrepreneurial hacks have you developed to stay focused and productive in your day-to-day?
If I'm not good at it, I hire it out. Like accounting, knew I was not going to be good at that, and nor did I want to spend hours. I mean, could I have done it? Yeah. But did I want to spend hours doing that? No, I don't like it, and it makes me frustrated. So I hired an accountant, and she's amazing, and she is worth every penny. I will pay her double. Stacey, if you're listening, if you want to charge yourself double, I will, but like, worth every penny. And other things like marketing. Could I have done social media, maybe kept it up and whatever, but would it have been as pretty or on top of things? No.
Yeah.
So again, hire that out. Like, but what am I good at? I'm really good at like classes. I'm really good at connecting with members. And that's where I want to spend my time. I want to spend my time in classes, whether I'm teaching them or taking them. I want to spend my time at the studios with the members and getting to know them and helping them in any way I can. Yeah. And then, you always have the, I have to do the scheduling and the backlogging and the, things like that. But I would say, if it's not really your passion or your like forte, then just if you have the means, just hire it out.
Yeah, for sure. To go off of what you said about doing like the scheduling and everything, how good would you say you are at the organizational side of things?
I don't know if you're familiar with the Enneagram, but I'm a 1, so I'm real good at that. Yeah, I'm pretty OCD about it. So that's actually one thing that like it's a feat to sit down and you have 11 different instructor schedules and their availabilities and their times, and you just kind of make it all work. But I look at it as a really fun puzzle to do, and but I do actually enjoy that. Yeah. So yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, sweet. Is there anything about entrepreneurship that was or is still confusing to you?
It's always changing, and there's always something new. I think that first year, I definitely encountered way more things than I thought I would or should have even. I think the first class we had, one of our panels like started sparking and there was a mini fire, and I was at home and I get a phone call like a panel's on fire. So I'm like flying into the studio, calling my electrician at like 4:45, like 5 o'clock in the morning, and he's like, well, shut the power, da-da-da. I get there, the class is still going on. They never stopped the class. Like, this is how hardcore like the 5:15 classes, like they didn't even stop. They're like, oh, it's done now, we're fine. I'm like, oh my gosh, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
It was not anything. They're wired to like, if anything, it sparked. It was not on fire. Okay. People exaggerated just a tad at 5 in the morning. It sparked a lot, and then it actually short-circuited itself. They have a fail-safe in there. It's never happened since, and I contacted the company. They're great, but they said it's only ever happened 3 other times since they've started the company. And Of course, one of them was with me. But
Yeah.
so, I mean, that was like the first day. I'm like, oh, okay. And then from that, we had a flood up there for a while. Like one of the bathrooms got turned on. And then we have like really good problems. Like the 5:15 classes are full and they have wait lists and it's like a month out. And like classes are so full that people are like hard to get into. Like good problems to have, right? Good problems. But it's also problems of like, how do I adjust the schedule? And like, even if I offer another class at a different time, our member's going to shift to it, or is that the time? Because 5:15 kind of like, that's, you just get up and do it before your day and your work, and you really can't. I mean, I'm not going to get up at 3:00 to go work out. So, challenges also, like difficult and good ones, and just everything makes you keep growing, and even then wrapping in the like, okay, if we do have another class, should it be like a new class? Should we get a new structure of a class and things like that? So it's always challenging and always changing, and I think if it's not challenging or changing, then you're just probably not doing a really good job either.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think that's great advice. So we're about halfway through our episode here, so we'd like to again shout out to Think 3D Solutions for sponsoring today's episode. Think 3D Solutions helps other businesses build a lasting and people-centered culture. They work with clients to develop training, consulting, and coaching solutions tailored to the specific needs of their organizations and teams. It is well known that business ebbs and flows, and that the needs of people and teams change. Those changes are why Think 3D Solutions works alongside clients every step of the way. Healthy and three-dimensional cultures don't just appear, they must be built. The Think 3D Solutions model guides teams to building their best culture, starting with the foundation. You can learn more about at letsthinkthreed.com. That's let's think, the number 3 and the letter D.com.
Sweet. So what do you consider success to look like for an entrepreneur?
I would say if you're not struggling to make money and you're happy, then I think you're doing a really good job. Living out a passion. I would say I don't know if every entrepreneur wants to do what they're passionate about. I know a lot of entrepreneurs start hundreds of businesses, and they're just really good at it, and they can like flip, and that's what they want. They want that drive. But to me, and kind of maybe like how I grew up and seeing my family members do it, like entrepreneurship was more of doing something that they were, passionate about and they really loved doing. And then it was a way to provide for their family and themselves. And I think that's just like a huge blessing and just something so cool.
Yeah.
That
for sure.
really makes it happy.
Yeah. How soon, if not already, do you hope to reach that point? And what would you say? You and the team at Ignite would need to get there?
Actually, funny story. We hit like my 3-year goal and like by month 9.
Wow.
So when I say the
That's
first
awesome.
year was just like stupid crazy, it was really crazy for me. I kept trying to play catch up, and I think it was, obviously God's timing was the best thing, but then secondly, it was that time where like COVID was still going on, but more people were finally getting out. And I think a lot of people just wanted that connection with someone else. Yeah. And that's what the group fitness offered. And I think that was evident with a lot of the fitness gyms in town, even like people wanted to get back out and start working out and being in the public and, back into, feeling good about themselves after being cooped up for so long. And so I really think that did just help kind of like launch it, and people really wanted to belong to something again, I think. So the team rallied. I could not have done anything without the team, and they are so dedicated and they're so passionate about what they do, and I could not be more blessed with having them.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Good. Since you started your entrepreneurial journey, have you had to do things that you would have never thought of had to do?
Yeah, like one time I didn't sleep for 3 days.
Oh God.
That was in the very beginning, and that was partly my fault. Like I didn't hire out things that I should have. Like I thought I could do like all the things, right? Because you're like, oh, it's gonna be fine. Yeah. Really not fine. Not fine. Didn't see my kids for like 3 days. Didn't sleep for 3 days. I was at the studio. Like that was hard, and so you have to take a step back and you really have to look. And another thing I really learned that was hard for me is like taking care of my body. Like what I do is very physically demanding, and like you just kind of like, oh, I'll sleep when I can, or I'll just one more class and I'll eat after this and da da da. And that definitely caught up with me. Yeah. And so I learned the hard way. Like I had a fractured foot and I passed out in a class and still kept teaching, but I just definitely learned the hard way, and now I have learned to definitely put forth more self-care and self-love and making sure that I'm functioning in the best I can be, because if I'm not, then how do I expect everyone else to be?
Yeah.
So that was a definite big challenge to learn, and just again balancing home life and work life. Like I have 2 boys and a dog, Carl, love him. And then I have, my family at Ignite, and they really are my second family, and I love them to death, and it is, definitely balancing them out, and so each get adequate love for me.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's good.
What would you say that your decision process is like?
I'm very logical.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm emotional, but for the most part, I'm very logical, and I think through both answers. Kind of do like the if this then that type of a thing. And when in doubt, I usually pray about it, and then I just go with my gut.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's great advice.
Yeah.
Are tasks and responsibilities delegated in a way where you're not the sole person coming up with ideas and making the final decisions?
I would say for the most part, final decisions, I would like to have a hand in, unless it's, unless I'm like, okay, this is your project, go. And then that's on them.
Yeah.
Things like that, which I'll do with Mel and kind of some of those things. But I like to work side by side with the instructors if they want a new class format, or, have them go over it with me. I like to say it's a lot of like give and take with that.
Yeah.
A lot of tasks I don't, we've delegated to other people so they know exactly what tasks they are. Maybe, again, that's like that one, like, this is the right way. But, unless like I give them the project, and I do fully believe in instructors to do something or handle it, I do. I mean, the best compliment I can give my entire team is that like when I leave on a vacation, I have anxiety just because I'm a 1 and I have anxiety, but I have no inhibition of like they can definitely handle it, and they will take care of anything that comes at them, because I know they can, and they will, and they hate bothering me, even though I'm like, you're not bothering me, but they're like, nope, enjoy. So like I would say like that is the best compliment I can give them. I can go on vacation and I don't have to worry, and I'm like beyond blessed that they all just like take charge and do things.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Do you consider yourself like a boss to your team?
Again, trying to keep that fine line. I am first and foremost their boss, because I do pay them, and there's a certain respect level there, but really, really close second, like just a millimeter under that, like I want to be their friend, and I want to be someone that they can come to when they're super excited about something, or when they're really sad about something, whether it's work life or personal life. I really do say when like they are my family, like I do want to know what's going on with their lives. We hang out outside of the studio, we all get together, like every other month we try to do a team building or bonding thing, and we really try to grow as a group, because that's the best way that we can deliver ourselves to the members too.
Yeah. That's cool.
That's good.
Are there any other thoughts or stories that you'd like to share from your experiences, either entrepreneurship or for business or work in general?
Just to like be able to laugh at yourself and have fun. Like, you're gonna screw up in an entrepreneurship job, like business. You're gonna screw up, and like learn from it, have fun with it. I mean, everyone is human. I think giving yourself grace.
Yeah.
Definitely having that drive and that mindset of like, you are the one that's gonna make it happen. But guess what? Like, you can have grace. You can screw up. You can give yourself grace, and you can make it better than before then. Or you tried something that didn't work. Yeah. Great. Okay, now we know it doesn't work. Let's divert. Things like that. So funny stories is I got Carl about a year ago, and he's now become like the studio dog. So he comes with me to the studio. He's a lot bigger than I thought he would be. I thought he'd be like 45. He's like 60 pounds, and he loves tiny humans, so he loves when the kids come in for childcare. And so that's just really fun, another dynamic of the studio that's just like really great. And I've taught with a boot on, because I fractured my foot, and so I've taught classes in like a boot, which is really fun. And and I would say, just like, again, like I said, if it's your passion, if you're having fun doing it, like, have fun. Like, we love to co-teach classes, because, like, the energy and just, teaching with another person is just so much fun, and going to classes and supporting them. And, business-wise, I would say just because, like, I was hitting goals before I thought I would, but in other things, and I've seen, family and things, start businesses, and, they definitely have to stick to a straight budget and things like that. But if you just keep doing what you believe you're being called to do, like, it will happen. Yeah. It definitely will happen.
Yeah.
That's
Sweet.
all great advice.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Uh,
Yeah, thank you so much, Ashley, for coming on the podcast today.
oh my gosh, yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you for closing out our season
Yeah.
as well. You were the season
Awesome.
finale.
Yep.
So as a true thank you, we have a gift card to Breadsmith and a USF mug right over there.
Awesome. Thank
For
you so much.
Yeah, just for
I
you to
love coffee. This is great.
This is for you to remember your time with us and all you did here today to help newer entrepreneurs that tuned in. So to end the episode and the season, we'd like to give Breadsmith a quick shout out.
Breadsmith is a national bakery that is committed to serving every community it is a part of. By making one of the finest artisan breads by hand without additives, preservatives, or time in the freezer, you can be sure that any breads, cookies, muffins, and other sweets are made using only the best ingredients. Breadsmith bakeries also take advantage of local products like honey and fruits and vegetables. You can find out more about Breadsmith at breadsmith.com. Breadsmith, handmade, hearth-baked.
This has been Caitlin
And Tyler.
with AshLeigh Cook of Ignite Yoga Studio on From the Ground Up. Thanks for tuning in to Season 2. We'll talk to you next time.